Okay, 6.3, we are going to look at graphs of exponential functions. So we're going to first determine if an exponential function is growth or decay. Those are the two types of exponential functions we have. And then we're going to learn how to sketch a graph of an exponential function. So what is an exponential function? Okay, that is a function with the general form of y equals a times b to the power of x. So your variable is in your exponent. That's how we know it's an exponential function. Okay, we have two types of exponential functions. We have growth and we have decay. So growth, it's getting bigger. So our b value has to be greater than 1. So for example, we could have y equals 1/3 times 5 to the x. But this 5 is what's important. So that is greater than 1. Okay, and our graph looks like this, where we're increasing exponentially. We could also have decay. So for that one, our b would be between 0 and 1. So it's going to either be a fraction or a decimal. For example, we could have y equals 2 times 1/2 to the power of x. And again, what we're looking at is this number that we're raising to the power. So the number out front isn't what tells us whether it's exponential growth or decay. And if you look at that graph, we're decreasing exponentially. Also, if you look at these graphs, you'll notice we have what's called an asymptote here in both of these. And so an asymptote is a line that the graph is going to get really, really, really close to, but it's never going to touch. So we need to make sure when we graph these on our own that we have that in there and that it's reflected in the graph. Okay, so first, all we're going to look at is trying to determine whether these are exponential growth or decay. So again, we said that number out front doesn't matter. What matters is the number that's being raised to the power. And this one's a little bit tricky to start because we said a fraction is an example of exponential decay, but that's only if it's a true fraction of between 0 and 1, not an improper fraction like this. If I actually divided that out, I would get 1.7, which is greater than 1. So this is an example of growth. Okay, second one, another fraction, now it's less than 1, 5/6 is less than 1, so that is an example of decay. Okay, so it is possible to have a fraction that shows growth, but it just needs to be an improper fraction. It needs to be greater than 1. Okay, next two examples, I have 6 to the power of x. So again, I'm just looking at this number here. So that is growth. And then this one, I have 0.65, which is between 0 and 1. So that is decay. Okay, so again, you're always just looking at, for growth or decay, you're just looking at the number that is being raised to the x power. If there's another number there for this purpose, you can ignore it just in terms of deciding if it's growth or decay. Okay, what if I gave you a word problem like this and had you determine if it was growth or decay? So number 7, you put $200 into a savings account for 4 years. The account pays 6% interest annually. Well, is that money increasing or is it decreasing, right? And in this case, it's increasing, so that would be growth. Second one, number 8, you buy a $30,000 car that depreciates, so that's kind of a keyword there, at a rate of 17% per year during the first 5 years. So depreciates means it's going down, so that is decay. All right, but let's talk about if we were to actually graph these, okay? Some important information for you to know. First and foremost is just the basic characteristics of these exponential functions. So the y-intercept is 0, 1, and that's always going to be your starting point. So that's the point that we're always going to graph. And if you notice, it's right here on my graph, and it's right here on my graph, right? So that point 0, 1 is on both of those graphs. Okay, like I mentioned before, there is an asymptote of y equals 0. Asymptote is a line that the graph can never touch. So we see that again in both of these graphs. It's going to get really, 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 really close, but it's never going to actually touch y equals 0. Okay, and then just like what we've looked at with all of our other graphs, we can have transformations of these. So we can have vertical shifts, up or down, which will affect where our horizontal asymptote is. And so if we're shifting up, our function is going to look like this. F of x equals b to the x plus c, right? And if we're shifting down, it's going to look like b to the x minus c. Okay, so that should look familiar. Up is plus, down is minus, and it's outside of the exponent. Now, when we talk about horizontal shifts, right or left, that's going to be with the x. So it's going to be up in the exponent. So if we're shifting right, it's going to look like f of x equals b to the x minus c. Again, you can see that it's up with the exponent there. And if we're shifting left, we're going to have f of x equals b to the x plus c. Okay, again, with the exponent. So when it's up in the exponent, it's telling us how far right or left. When it's outside of the exponent, it's telling us how far up or down. Okay, so with these, we are just going to identify whether the graph is growth or decay and then list the transformations. So to look at growth or decay, we're going to look at the number being raised to the exponent, right? So 3 to the x plus 4 plus 7. So 3 is greater than 1, so that means that this is growth. And then we're going to look at our shifts. So this plus 7 is telling us it's going up 7. And this plus 4, which is in the exponent, is going to tell us left or right. And since it's plus 4, it's going left 4. Okay, if I look at number 10, 5 over 3 is still greater than 1. So that is also growth. Okay, this minus 1 on the outside tells us down 1. And then this x plus 5 up here, x plus 5 tells us left 5. Okay, so we're going to use that and those shifts when we go to actually graph our functions. So let's look at one of those together. Okay, the first one, number 12 in your notes, f of x equals 2 to the x plus 3. So again, let's start by identifying what we did in the last one. So 2 to the power of x, that means that this is a growth function. And then my shifts are going to be plus 3, so that's up 3. And there's nothing with exponents, so that's it, okay? So in my initial graph, if I were to start at 0, 1, but now I'm moving that up 3. So instead of 0, 1, it's going to be at 1, 2, 0, 4. And my asymptote, instead of being at y equals 0, it's going to be at y equals 3, because everything is shifting up 3. Okay, and then for growth, I'm just going to sketch this, that it's increasing exponentially. And again, this is just a sketch. So as long as you have the correct y-intercept and your asymptote is in the right place and you're showing me a growth graph, that's going to be good enough for us. All right, number 13. Again, first thing we want to look at is exponential growth or decay. So this is decay. Oh, and I apologize. I think there's a typo here. It should say minus 2. That's what it says in your notes. So let's assume it's 1/3 to the power of x minus 2. So again, that 1/3 is telling us decay. The minus 2 here is telling us it's going down 2. And there's nothing up in the x, so that's all we have to worry about right now. So again, 0, 1 is going to become 0, -1. My asymptote at y equals 0 is now going to become y equals -2, because everything is shifting down 2. And then decay is going to do the opposite of what growth does, so it's going to come something like this. Okay. So again, I need to see that you can tell it's decay, it's decreasing, the y-intercept and where that has moved, and the asymptote and where that has moved. Let's look at one more now, because this one is also going to shift right or left. So I see 1/2 to the power of x plus 4 minus 3. So the 1/2 tells us that this is decay. The minus 3 tells us we're going down 3. And then this plus 4 up here tells us we're moving left 4. Okay? So again, imagine my starting point is 0, 1, because that's my y-intercept on the base, just the b to the power of x. Okay, so if I'm going down 3, 1, 2, 3, left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this is where my starting point is. Okay, it's no longer on the y-axis because I shifted left 4 as well. And then my y-asymptote, or sorry, my asymptote, y equals 0, is now going to be at -3 because I'm shifting that down 3 as well. And this is a decay graph, so I'm coming in and I'm decreasing exponentially. Okay, so that is exponential functions, graphs of exponential functions. I didn't do all the examples in your notes, so if you want to give those a try, you are more than welcome to, and we will get a little bit more practice in class as well.